there guys, welcome back and hello if you are new. So, after 2023's Sky Void of Stars, as you can see up here, the Cannibal Corpse of Sadness return with their 13th album, Nightmares as Extensions of the Waking State. I got through it. So if you're not familiar with Katatonia, they are a band that have over time combined elements of progressive rock, death metal, black metal, a bit of electronica and goth to create, I think, a sound that is immediately identifiable and really wholly unique to them. So a little bit of background on this record. Nightmares as Extensions of the Waking State. For the rest of this review, I'm just going to call it Nightmares. Is the first to not feature guitarist Anders Nyström, who was a founding member of the band, and also Roger Ojersson, which has been, I think he was with the band from the Fall of Hearts until now. So as you can imagine, this is going to be a pretty big talking point amongst fans, and replacing the two of them is Nico Elgstrand and Sebastian Svaland. I think I've said that right. So I don't think it's always a bad thing when, you know, new members join a band and old ones do leave. Obviously, I know that Anders had a huge part to play in the Katatonia legacy, but, you know, sometimes it can really add for some dynamic changes. And the thing is, the majority of this record was written by Jonas, who is the singer and kind of, I guess, mastermind of Katatonia now. So this record for me, I think, leans more towards the sort of progressive idea of Katatonia. Some of the songs really do take a little bit more time to wrap themselves around you, and there's a lot of kind of different layers that are being experimented with here. So you've got tracks like the single Lilac, which has this sort of juddering stop-start riff, you know, as the main sort of element to that. But then you've also got the Liquid Eye, which is a similar kind of idea. And I think the Light Which I Bleed also slowly but surely reveals itself to you, and it is one of those things kind of, you know, that you end up getting more from this record the more that you put in with it, really. So this record is very riff driven, it's very guitar oriented. You can see that on the second single, Temporal, and I guess Jonas wrote the majority of this record, but having said that, the new guitarists definitely hold their own. I think there's some really interesting solos here, some kind of like similar melodic patterns and sort of phrasing, but something that is adding a slight dynamism to it as well. However, there are some things which were unexpected. I think, you know, the opening track, Thrice, and also the Liquid Eye, features a little bit more percussion, which I thought was quite interesting. You know, there's a real tom sort of section that's really quite warm in both of these, but Thrice in particular really kind of, it was a nice contrast, because I feel like Katatonia has always been quite a cold band, and thematically as well, things are slightly different. Winds of No Change is a track which is a satanic track, which is something that the band haven't done for many, many, many years, pretty much since, you know, the beginning of the band. That song also features some really haunting kind of choir moments, and really has a quite infectious bass line. It's definitely a massive highlight for me in the record as well. And the track In the Event Of, which kind of closes out the album, is what inspired the album's artwork and chronicles a nightmare that Jonas had about 10 years ago, I think it was. Another nice surprise is Efter Solen, a song which is sung in Jonas's mother tongue, which is Swedish. If anything, it proves that not only is it lyrics that make Jonas such a unique singer, but it's the fact that the melodies and the rhythmic patterns of his delivery kind of make his singing style transcend the language a little bit. And it doesn't matter that I didn't really sort of understand anything that he was singing about, but it still sounds so Katatonia. And as we've seen even more and more over the last sort of recent years, electronics have become even more of a staple, I think, in Katatonia's sound. And sometimes they even just take kind of center stage, really. However, you know, me talking about some of the differences, there are some familiarities, like Departure Trails and Warden, I think comfortably fit in, you know, snugly in like Katatonia's back catalogue, like The Fall of Hearts or The Great Cold Distance, you know, like City Burials maybe. But, you know, that signature Katatonia, rhythm, sound, cadence, all that sort of stuff. And it works. I just love it. I think it fits like a glove. So Nightmares as extension of the waking state is not a bold kind of, you know, bombastic kind of thing. It's quite a shy record that takes its time to kind of really reveal its colours. And despite a lineup change as significant as, you know, losing a founding member in the band, I don't think this has deterred them at all. And they are still the masters of melancholy. And, you know, this record is really another feather to add into their cap. They're an absolutely fantastic band, and I'm sure a lot of people will really, really love this record. I personally really, really enjoyed it. Stick with it if you're kind of on the fence a little bit, because there are some real gems in here. So that's it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed this album review. Let me know what you think, and it would be great if you could hit that like and subscribe button. It always really, really helps, and I appreciate it. Drop a comment underneath me as well, because I always love chatting with you guys, and I'll see you guys very, very soon for another album review, interview, all that good stuff. Take care, my friends. Satan.